Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, good day everybody at Pritkzer. Welcome back to Mr. Steve's Tuesday morning class. I hope everybody's doing okay. How are you doing? Are you hanging in there? I know I would like to be outside in the sunshine, but I'm really happy to be here with you, and I hope that you're just hanging in there. We're gonna get through this. So that was a little fun little ending there for You Are My Sunshine. Today we're gonna dig a little deeper into that song. I've got some charts, and I'm going to, hopefully, if you can take some screenshots of your device. I'm also going to post some pictures on Homeroom. So, let's see. Let's do attendance real quick. Do we have an Evie? Yes. Do we have a Finn? Yes. Do we have a John? I hope so, yes. And Olivia. Hopefully you can check in at some point and watch this video. Please feel free to pause it if you need to, or if you need to rewind and go back, to check out different parts. We're going to try and really make this sort of a rehearsal space. And speaking of Homeroom, you're seeing this video of me, and I'm going to post the link, of course, to YouTube after I'm done filming this. I'm also going to post the link to Homeroom. So, and hopefully you'll get a chance to watch that. Parents and students, if you are so inclined and you want to send a picture or a video of yourself practicing to Homeroom, that would be so awesome. No pressure, but it would be a great way to kind of keep your fellow classmates inspired. And also, it's just nice for me to get to see that you're doing okay and that you're practicing and that you're hopefully having some fun, despite not really being able to go out. So, yes, if you have a picture or a video of you practicing, please post it to the Homeroom Pritkzer Intermediate Advanced Ukulele page. I'd love to see you, and I'd love to just know that you're doing okay. So, all right, let's get to it. So the first verse, we've kind of worked on the basics, right? We've got our C chord, we've got our F chord, and our G7. So just a reminder, that C chord, every string is open except for the A string, which is your bottom string. For me, it's my top string. Fret number 3. So open G, open C, open E, and 3rd fret A string. Or we can, for shorthand, since we always go G, C, E, A, right? Good cats eat apples. It's open, 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 3. Our F chord is 2, open, 1, open. So 2nd fret G, open C, 1st fret and 1st finger on the E, open A. It's good to just review these things as much as we can. Finally, G7 is open G, 2nd fret C, 1st fret E, 2nd fret A. So open, 2, 1, 2. Great. Now, in the song, in the verse, let's play through the first verse, actually. I think that would be a good place to start. So, hopefully you have your ukulele, and hopefully you're in tune. I think I'm pretty close to being in tune. So, G, C, E, A. So, hopefully you're in rest position. Now let's get to play position. Okay? And here we go. I'm going to give us a 1, 2, 1, and then you are my. Those are called pickup notes, right? Because the sun comes in on the first beat of that measure. So here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, that was nice. That was nice. Hopefully you could follow along. You're probably wondering, what's that little thing that happened at the when skies are gray? Well, it so happens I've got a little name for it. And it's called Chromatic Crawl, okay? So, what's a chromatic crawl? A chromatic scale on any instrument, whether it's a ukulele or a guitar or a piano, is when you go one fret at a time, or one half step at a time. So, sometimes you can ascend, meaning you can go up with the crawl, and sometimes you can descend with the crawl, meaning going down in pitch. In this case, it's a chromatic descent. So, what we're doing here, and if you want, you can take a screenshot of this. I'm going to post pictures of these as well. You've got our chromatic crawl. The first note, the first chord rather, is this C. Okay? 3rd fret A string. When skies. Next up is our C major 7 here in the middle. We're going to jump from the 3rd fret of that A string down to the 2nd fret. When skies are. Last but not least, our C7, which is going to be at fret number 1, right over here. It's hard because my screen is flipped. C7, fret 1. So, when skies are gray. So you're going to go 3, 3, 2, 1 on that A string, okay? So you can actually use your 3rd finger, 2nd finger, and then 1st finger in order to do that crawl. So let's try it all together, okay? So just to kind of a visual reminder, I like to draw, and it helps me remember things, so I think it's kind of fun to draw up these chord charts. So we're going to go 3, 3, 2, 1. You're also going to continue playing all those other strings, right? So what I'm doing here, we're still playing chords. And keep in mind, chords are just harmonies, right? The definition of a chord is 3 or more notes played at the same time, but really, it's a harmony. It's a group of notes that sound really good together, but they're also very specific. So we've got when skies are gray. So let's try and do that together. Here we go. We're going to start on You Are My Sunshine. 1 and a 2 and a 1. You are my sunshine. Get ready for it. My only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, great. Hopefully you could follow along with that. Now, next up, of course, is another chromatic crawl, only this time it's going to be different words. In my arms. But you're still going to do the same positions. That 3rd finger for in is a C. 2nd finger on the 2nd fret for my is called a C major 7. And then last but not least, the word arms, 1st fret A string, which is the chord is called a C7. Now those 3 notes that you're actually playing are first up a C, then a B, that's the 2nd fret of the A string, and then this 1st fret here on the A string, just that note by itself is called a B flat. So those are the notes that are changing, and then the names of the chords are C, C major 7, and C7. Someone said advanced ukulele, so I'm trying to give you some theory here so you can really understand not just the sounds that you're creating, but the names or the titles of those chords, okay? So let's try that one. We're going to try the 2nd verse, and we're going to implement this chromatic crawl, okay, on In My Arms. In my arms. Okay, excellent. Let's see how we're doing on time. We're doing great. All right, here we go. So it's going to go like this. The other night, dear. Those are the first words. 1 and a 2 and a 1. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms when I awoke, dear. I was mistaken, and I hung my head and I cried. Okay, so hopefully you could follow along with that. If not, go ahead and rewind, take it back, and try it again. It should be a little bit challenging, but hopefully it's fun. Let's also mention strum pattern again. So the strumming pattern that I'm using most of the time with my strumming hand, which is my left hand, and most of you, it's your right hand. All of you, I think. I'm going down, up, right? So again, that's in 4 beats. Down, up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so it's just a good thing to practice. 1, down, up, down, up, down, up. So, all right, excellent. So next up, we've got our chromatic crawls in place. For that final verse, I have an idea, okay? And I'm going to do some alternate chord voicings for you. So you see what that says there? It says fancy schmancy chords. So what we have here, and again, I'm going to post the pictures of all of these to Homeroom along with the link to this video, which is going to be uploaded to YouTube. So what we have here is we have an alternate C over on this side, our alternate C. And then next to it, you can see I've written in the fret numbers. So we're not at the shore anymore. We're not at home base on frets 1, 2, and 3. We're moving all the way up to frets 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? And then, of course, I've written up the names of the strings here. We got G, C, E, and A. So let's start with our alternate C. Your 6th fret will be empty. You're going to be playing your bottom string, your A string, at fret 7, and your E string at fret 8. The G and the C strings will remain open. So let's try that. Let's see, what does that sound like? Open, open, 8, 7. It sounds like this. Now if we go back and we listen to our regular C, I'm going to call it a classic C because it's like the stepping stones, the sort of groundwork, you know, these classic chords. Let's compare it. It's got a really vibrant, beautiful sound to it. But again, it's just elevated a little bit. Higher in pitch, a slightly different voicing of the chord, but you can tell that they are both C's. They're both part of the same family. Okay, moving right along. Let's look at our middle chord on this page. This is our alternate F. Here, you'll see we're going, this one's got a long spread. We're going across 4 different frets, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You'll notice that the 7th and the 8th frets are in the exact same place that they were for your alternate C. It's the exact same spot, 7 and 8 for the A string and the E string. What we're doing now is instead of having the G and the C string be open, we're going to fret them both at fret number 5. So the arrangement from G to A, G, C, E, A, is 5, 5, 8, 7. It's getting complicated, but I know you can do it. That's part of why I'm showing this to you, because I believe in all of you. So this is what it should sound like. You can hear it compared to our classic F. So they're in the same family, right? They sound alike. They're just a slightly, one is a slightly more grown-up, sophisticated sound. What I'm doing here is I'm using my first finger flat across my bottom 2 strings. For you, it's your top 2 strings, your G and your C string at fret 5. Then I'm using my 2nd and 3rd fingers at the E on fret 8 and the A at fret 7. You can hear my cat Louie meowing in the background because he wants me to pay more attention to him. Okay, so that's what that alternate F sounds like. So C. Okay, so, and that's our F. So it's not easy. It's going to take some practice, and it's definitely a long spread. We're not used to going across 4 different frets. In the past, we've really done a lot of single frets, 2 frets, and then in the case of something like an E minor, for example, that's across 3 frets, 2, 3, and 4. So this one's got quite a wingspan to it. Now, last but not least, our fancy schmancy chords. We're going to go and we're going to figure out how to play this guy over here, which is our alternate G. Now you might be wondering, why are we not playing an alternate G7? There's a couple reasons for that. One is I think, Louie, that's enough. One of the reasons for that, I'm going to close this door. One of the reasons for that, sorry for the interruption. My cat is being very needy right now. Okay, so our alternate G. Part of the reason I want to call it an alternate G and not do an alternate G7, one of the reasons is because it's a little challenging and it's kind of awkward to get to it. I personally like the sound of this alternate G better, and it's the end of the song, and so I kind of made an executive decision. Anytime you're covering a song, you got to make it your own. So you, as an artist, get to have a license to kind of change it if you want to. So our alternate G, instead of 6, 7, and 8 over here, or 5, 6, 7, and 8, this one is going to be going across frets 5, 6, and 7. Okay? 5, 6, 7. And it starts with our first finger at fret 5 on the A string. The 6th fret is going to remain open. 7th fret, we're going to be at the E string and the C string. Of course, the G string will remain open. So, going from G, C, E to A, it's going to be open 7, 7, 5. Let's see, take a nice look at that. Open 7, 7, 5. Okay, so let's hear what it sounds like. Let's compare it to our classic G. So now what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and put all 3 of these together for that final verse. Okay, so let's try it together. This is fun. This is a good little exercise for us. I hope you guys are having fun and keeping up. Okay, here we go. Remember, the lyrics, the words to this 3rd verse are the same as they were in the 1st verse. Okay, so here we go. 1 and 2 and 1. You are my sunshine. I'm leaving my first finger open. My only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, great. We're going to try that again in just a minute here. When I said my first finger is open, what I meant to say really is that I'm keeping my first finger available to plunk down at fret 5. This is really important. When you start that alternate C, you're going to use your 2nd and 3rd fingers. I know normally we would use our 1st and 2nd, but it's going to really help you out to leave your first finger available to plunk down on G and C at fret 5 when you transition from the alternate C to the alternate F. And then when we switch to the alternate G chord, I'm using my first finger on the A string at fret 5, and then I'm using my 3rd finger and pinky on the E and the C at fret 7. But you can also, if you don't want to use your pinky, you can use your 2nd and 3rd finger. Okay, so now, last but not least, we had our chromatic crawl at frets 3, 2, and 1. We had our fancy schmancy chords. Now, we've got our, you guessed it, fancy schmancy chromatic crawl. Okay, so that's going to start at our alternate C, which is over here. Okay, so you're going to be at 7 and 8. Then we're going to have an alternate C major 7 at fret 7. So you'll notice that the thing that stays the same is the A string fretted at 7 on all three of these. What changes is the E string is going to move from fret 8 to 7 to join with that A string on the 7th fret, and then last it'll move back behind it to fret 6. So again, you'll notice that that A string stays at fret 7. Your E string moves from fret 8 to 7 to 6. Just like you did on the A string 3, 2, 1, the E string 8, 7, 6, those are actually the same notes, believe it or not. It's a C followed by a B followed by a B flat. Okay? So here we go. So I hope that this isn't too confusing. It'll hopefully make sense with some repetition. But basically what you're doing here, and again, I'm leaving my first finger available. I'm going. So on this E string here, fret 8, 7, 6 is the same as 3, 2, 1 on the A string, right? So again, E string 8, 7, 6 is the same as A string 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're creating alternate versions of the C, C major 7, and C7. But we're all the way out here because we've been so good at learning these classic chords, the sort of building blocks of the ukulele. And now we've ventured out beyond the shore and the beach, and we're all the way halfway across, almost getting closer to where the neck and the body of the ukulele meet at frets 7 and 8 and 6. Okay? So, you're getting good. So here we go. Let's try that last verse using our fancy schmancy chromatic crawl and our alternate chords. Okay? Here we go. I'm going to count us off. And remember, the lyrics are exactly the same as they were in the first verse. So here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 1. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. When skies are gray, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Okay, so this pretty much concludes our lesson for today. I hope that everybody had fun, and I hope that I'm not overwhelming you with too much complicated stuff. We're going to come back to this and revisit these things, and I think that if you want to, this might be a good time to get out a piece of blank paper after you've watched this and maybe sort of draw your own rendition of these chords. What do they look like? What do they feel like? I think muscle memory and everything is so, our brains are so connected to, controlling our fingers and our feet and our hands and everything. And so with repetition, we're sort of solidifying the memory of what it feels like. It's like taking a photograph and you come back to it and you kind of remember where you were standing. During this time, I hope that you all are finding some excuses to catch up on sleep, maybe to read a book, maybe read several books, maybe watch some movies, hang out, have some fun, maybe do a puzzle. If anybody has any questions and whatnot, please feel free to post them, in the comments of the homeroom with the link to the YouTube video that I'm about to upload. Comments and questions are welcome. And like I said before, if you have a moment to post a picture of yourself practicing, get your parents to take a little video or a picture of any of this stuff that we've been working on, or even just something you've created on your own. I would love to see it. And I think it would just be a fun way to kind of keep connecting and inspiring each other. So thanks very much for tuning in and for your patience and for your dedication to this wonderful instrument. And I'll see you on Thursday. All right? Mahalo.